Welcome to Smart Remarks and the era of less prosperity. So I want to direct your attention this week to Gawker.com, which posted a fascinating email from a guy named David Siegel, who's CEO of a company called Westgate Resorts, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, timeshare resort companies in the world, about how basically telling his employees that if Obama is reelected president, they'll be out of a job. Now, he doesn't say that in so many words, but he goes on and on about how he worked so hard to create this company. He resents having to fund lavish lifestyles for people who haven't worked as hard as he has. The Obama administration seems determined to demonize job creators such as him. It's an outrage! And so if his taxes would go up in any way, he might just go galt, pack it all in, go sit in the sun, and all his current employees will find themselves out of a job. It's pretty fascinating. I'd urge you to go check it out yourself. It mirrors the debate we're having in this country over how we're going to create jobs, or rather who creates jobs. The Republican line, very similar to Siegel's line, which is that it is the job creators who create jobs. In other words, we have to lower taxes on the wealthiest Americans, for it is only through them that we can have jobs. They are the font of all prosperity. So if we lower their taxes, then perhaps they'll deign to create jobs for the rest of us. Now, there's a lot wrong with this approach. First off is the assumption that by lowering taxes, we will create jobs. If I lower your taxes, if you're a business owner, are you in fact going to create jobs as a result of that? Maybe, but maybe not. If you don't have demand, why would you create a job? You might be happy to pocket the tax savings, but unless you have people who want your product or who need your service, why in the world would you bring on another employee and incur all the costs associated with that? In fact, wouldn't you go out of your way to avoid doing that? So how is it then that cutting taxes for the job creators actually creates jobs? Don't the Bush tax cuts prove to us that we didn't create jobs by cutting taxes? Had they, we would be awash in jobs now. We are not. And this is specifically because it's not the job creators who create jobs. As Nick Hanauer said in a rather largely discussed TED presentation earlier this year, it's not the job creators who create jobs. It's consumers who create jobs. It's workers who create jobs. It's the people who have money and who go out and spend money and who create demand that power this economy. And if you are a job creator, again, you are going to create jobs only if those consumers are demanding your product. So how is it that we've decided as a nation that we need to continue to lower the tax burden of the wealthiest Americans, which ultimately has not benefited those down the economic ladder, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon, does it? I understand that rich people may feel demonized, and in fact they kind of have been, but by the same token, this is a result of policies that have made the rich richer. The 1%, the 0.1% have pulled away from the rest of America. Inequality has risen. Yeah, people are going to be upset about this, and particularly when the policy response is that we need to widen inequality even further, that the 99.9% can only benefit if we make the 0.1% ever wealthier. That's not a policy for prosperity. That's a policy for social disruption. And it's coming unless we decide that maybe the job creators are valuable, but so are the people whose jobs are created.